Hello, 3DMJers. As you know, our sport of natural bodybuilding is getting very popular. And in fact, I think that it's increased in popularity probably tenfold since I got started, in the late 90s, early 2000s. And I think the reason that it's getting so popular is that for the first time, anybody can aspire to be a pro athlete. I know that was one of the things that really drew me to natural bodybuilding, was that I didn't really need any special talent. I didn't need to be a fantastic football player. I didn't need to be, speedy and tall and, athletic to be a basketball player or something like that. Yet I always loved athletics, and I loved even the word athlete. And so I think that's one of the real appeals to it. It's just about anybody can do it, and actually a fair amount of gifted folks could earn the title pro. And so I think that's what really makes our sport popular. Now, the true question is, are most people mature enough to compete? And I would venture to say no. In fact, I would venture to say that even most pro natural bodybuilders aren't mature enough to compete. And the only reason I say that is because I'm guilty. Up until basically 2011, I was not mature enough to compete as a pro natural bodybuilder and be, happy with it. So it's story time now, and I'm going to rewind things back to 2002 when I first got into the sport. And so I had my idols, Skip LaCour and Jeff Willett, were early influences on me. And so I kind of used them as my coaches. And I had the God-given ability to get on stage and appear nearly skinless. I had this ability to get really shredded. And so right off the bat, in my first show in 2003, I won the novice overall, and pretty much leaning on that condition. I had this condition that at the time was pretty rare. You only saw it in most of the top pros. And so naturally, as an amateur, any show that I came to, I competed very well. I was either going to contend for a win in my class, and then more often than not, I was contending for a win in the overall. And that was a very good feeling and really kind of fed my competitive desire. Now, fast forward 2008, I earned my pro card. Keep in mind, a much different time than today. I think in today's world, I question whether or not I could win my pro card, just because, like I said, natural bodybuilding has gotten much more popular, and so therefore it's much more competitive. It is a much different world today in natural bodybuilding now as it compared to when I won my pro card in 2008. But I digress. Anyway, so win my pro card in 2008. 2009 I competed as a pro. I compete in the Pro US Cup under the WNBF banner, and in the heavyweight class I finished second to last. And it was a very eye-opening experience. It was a little bit humbling. And so at the time I thought, you know what, I was a 165-pound heavyweight. It was just the way the cards were dealt. I was competing against two guys that were in the 190s, and they were probably more shredded than me. And so I just chalked it up to, it was a poor deal of the cards. So take my off season, get up on stage in 2011. And I compete in the Kansas City Pro International under the IFPA banner. And so I've got much different aspirations. I'm going to be in a lightweight class. There is 12 lightweights. I'm in nearly the best condition I've ever been in, and I actually weigh a little bit more than any other show I had ever done before. So I had, great aspirations. And I could tell after prejudging, I finished either last or second to last. And so naturally, there's a lot of reflection that has to happen at this point. I'm sitting outside of the venue, and I'm dejected, and I basically am ready to quit the sport. And I come home, talk it over with my 3D MJ, cohorts, and decide, you know what, I don't want to, if that's going to be my last show, I don't want to leave the sport like that. And so I decide then to get back into prep and go with a different mindset for the Natural Olympia under the PNBA banner. And so, totally different mindset now. I'm not even going to think about competition. I'm not even going to think about placing. My sole purpose was to get on stage and look more symmetrical, just as, if not more shredded than ever, and hopefully have a little bit more size. Those of you that know me and know me as a bodybuilder, and how I stack up, I have no symmetry. I have no X. I've got a blocky waist, and my waist is 31 inches, pretty much whether I'm 20% body fat or 2. I've got big, blocky, bony hip bones, and so naturally I look like this on stage as opposed to this. So anyway, I progressed the rest of prep. It's the greatest prep I've ever done. My macros were higher than ever, and as at the finishing stages of prep, we just make some real fine tuning adjustments. My carbs are higher, my protein is higher, and I actually gain 2 to 3 pounds between the Kansas City Pro International and the Natural Olympia. And the day of the Natural Olympia, Alberto is here, Jeff is here, Eric is here, and I'm getting ready to head out the door at like 7 o'clock in the morning, and Alberto wants to take a look at me. So I go show him, strip down, show him my physique, and Alberto's eyes were literally this big. He was like, holy mackerel, you are shredded. And he kind of gives me some last minute words of advice, and that was all I needed at that point. Go compete at the Natural Olympia, and pretty much I could tell I was going to be second to last or last, but I didn't even care. I just was awestruck with the level of conditioning that I had, and I finally had some symmetry. All the posing practice that I did, it paid off, and I actually had a little bit of V-taper. And so naturally, anything beyond last was going to be icing on the cake. And so now, as I get ready for 2014 and to get back on that pro stage, that is my mindset, is to improve on the Brad Loomis that I presented at the Natural Olympia in 2011. And I don't care what Jeff Alberts looks like. I don't care what Alberto Nunez looks like. I don't care what Valentina Zuga looks like. I don't care what anybody looks like. And I don't care if I place dead last in every single show that I do in 2014. In fact, I will be proud to have my butt handed to me in 2014, as long as I surpass the level of conditioning and the level of symmetry that I had in 2011. And that is a very liberating mindset, because now I can truly unlock my competitive potential. I can basically say, okay, you know what? I don't have to worry about staying a certain weight in the off season. I don't have to worry about how lean I can get or how big I can look on stage, how much muscle I can retain. I'm just going to basically work towards a new and better Brad Loomis. And I wish I could get that across. I hope that I'm getting my point across, because I wish I could get that across to every aspiring natural bodybuilder out there. It's just that liberating, kind of almost setting down of the bricks of the burden of comparing yourself to other natural bodybuilders that are out there. And furthermore, like I said, it's really going to unlock your true potential, because what if you're a natural bodybuilder who aspires to get on stage and you just don't have really good development? And what happens if you diet down, get striated glutes, but yet at the same time your upper body is as stringy as Gumby? you're not going to look like a bodybuilder. You're going to look like Gumby with striated glutes. Don't worry about the striated glutes. Diet down lean, but still look like a bodybuilder. Find a fine balance so that you can present your best appearance on stage and best condition that you have ever attained. And who cares what anybody else does? Because then you're going to find true happiness in this very competitive sport right now. You're going to be like me and not like the me of 2009 and early 2011 when I didn't even want to do it anymore. So that's my gift to you guys today, that, you will have, if you aspire to get on stage or if you're in prep and you're intimidated by these absolutely gifted, God-gifted bodybuilders that are out there, put that down. That's a bag of bricks that you don't need to be carrying around. Compare yourself to you and nobody else, and truly unlock your competitive potential and truly get enjoyment out of this sport. So, as always, thank you for paying attention. Thank you for watching. I hope this helps. And thank you for making our channel so positive.